Are we ready? It's time, guys. Danny said he'd be a few minutes late. You want to call the roll?
Schmid.
Here.
Alt.
Here.
Bill. Curtis. Hanson.
Yep. We got any public comments? Oh, come on. Nobody? No public. Randy, you're up.
Any effort this month with renewal or earthquake public health and medical malpractice. So we got that done. There was a little about 4% increase in that mostly. Last year, we had to cap a lot of them numbers. So this year we got a real numbers and they're actually up a little bit compared to our caps. So price is pretty flat, given increase of exposure from insurance companies standpoint. So otherwise, that's the big thing that we're doing. Yep.
Ms. Warner.
Good morning. There are two companies that are going to make a proposal today. Homestar is here first, and CIBC will be here at about 9:15 or so.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Okay.
Yeah, who's running a few minutes?
Good morning. We are here to give the proposal for the upcoming renewal for December 1st. We were able to get an early renewal again this year. What you'll see here is our binder. We have the About Homestar, just in case you guys want to go through that on your own time, just a nice little review. But then we also, the first tab is our renewal with Health Alliance, and we were able to get, if you look here, a 3% renewal increase this year for Health Alliance if you did want to sign for December 1st. We also looked at some different options through Health Alliance to help bring that premium down. If you look at your columns here, it's right through this guy. Yep, this one right here. If you look at the two columns, the first column is going to be the current plan that the group is on now, and then the second two columns are going to be some alternate options that we're showing just to bring that premium down. The differences are highlighted in red so you can see what the differences would be, and the rates shown below do include the HRA fee per employee. So you guys can see that as well. And if we increase some of the co-payments, that also brings your renewal down. On this one, if we went up to a $40 co-payment instead of a $20, or a $65 co-payment for a specialist instead of a $40, that also brings that co-payment down, or I'm sorry, that premium down. And then on the third column, we're also increasing those co-payments, but the deductible staying the same at $7,500, but instead of maxing out at 2 for $1,500, it would max out at 3 at $2,250. So we'd have to restructure the HRA a little differently, but that's an option as well. My other option is I'm waiting for Health Alliance to send a quote without commission. We would like to offer a fee for service or a consulting fee, where on the next tab you will see you would not receive any commission on the medical. So that would be completely out of those rates. And once we get that, I'll be able to get those rates to you. Health Alliance has not been able to provide those yet. They are working on them, and we should have them very soon. That consulting fee, though, we would just provide you any services that called in, any claims issues, anything like that that we serviced. We would just charge you guys an hourly rate, not to exceed that certain amount. So we were looking at a $60 hour rate, not to exceed $20,000 for the year, and that is negotiable. We would then not receive any commission on the medical, and just the consulting fee that we would bill you guys for quarterly with an itemized log showing what services were done. It would not have any names of anybody on it. It would just be a general log, itemized with the dates that people called in, what services were provided, and the amount of time that was worked on that. I also have, on the last tab, final rates from Landon Lincoln. They are a new carrier, up-and-coming carrier for the last couple of years. They were able to give us some final rates. The downfall with them is they do have some different plan designs that aren't the same as what we have with Health Alliance. And the HRA currently with Health Alliance runs direct to BPC. So the claims feed goes direct there. Once the employees have hit their amount, they're reimbursed automatically through BPC. They don't have that functionality through Land Champion. So the employees would need to then handle that on their own by sending their claims through to BPC on their own and getting reimbursement. So there would be some education on that end to make sure the employees were aware and how to handle that. Any questions so far on the proposal? And we have received early renewals the last 2 years. For you guys, renewal has been an issue in the past. Last year was a pretty good renewal as well as this year. I do feel that once we do get the rates without the commission, they're going to bring those down and you'll see a big difference there as well. I'll get those over to you guys as soon as those are available. We are working right now on the group benefits fair for the open enrollment coming up and reaching out to local vendors in the area for giveaways and see how they want to participate as well. And then we will still continue to pay that COBRA fee to BPC for you guys each month. And then I know we feel that we've provided some great service to you guys. I hope you do feel the same. We hope to continue our relationship with you guys as well. Yes. Any questions?
Yeah, I do, but go ahead and finish.
We hope to continue the relationship for years to come, and I hope you guys have been pleased with our service.
Do you have any idea what your average, it's been a couple of years now, what the average amount of time you spend if we went to these fees?
I do not think we would hit that $25,000 this year at all. You guys are a pretty educated group, and the calls that we do get, it's pretty simple claims issues here and there. I don't think it would ever get up to that at all. So I would say, gosh, a month, we probably, hard to say, maybe 30 hours, you know. I'm thinking it's all changed. When we're doing open enrollment time and the group benefit meetings and things like that, it's going to be different than just your day-to-day phone calls and things like that.
It's interesting.
It is. We have done that with some of our clients, and they really do like that. They like to, that way, it does save them money on the rates, and then they can kind of see what's going on, utilization-wise, what kind of calls are coming into our office, and what we're helping them with.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody got any questions?
No? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Okay.
Do you want me to go, do you want to discuss this for a little bit, and then I'll go get CIBC or see if they're here?
What do you guys think?
That's fine.
Do you have questions about what you just saw, or?
It didn't look like there's a whole lot of difference, does it?
No.
I thought we've been pleased with them the last year.
From our perspective, they're very, very good. Very responsive. You get the right answer the first time, which has sometimes been an issue in the past. Like I said, in terms of the renewal numbers, they're 5 months before the beginning of the year.
We never got that before.
Right.
No.
That's a biggie, especially with budget season coming.
No. Yeah, the only thing, I just wanted, there is a slight difference, so it's a 3% increase is what you're looking at. It would go from $429.25 to $442.25 if we kept the exact same plan we have now. And if we kept it where we were having their commission is included in the rate. So what she said at the end, we don't know what those numbers are right now. She's waiting for an answer on what if they receive no commission, the commission wasn't billed into this, if they just charged us a fee every quarter. Now she said an average of 30 hours a month, not to exceed $20,000. I just quickly calculated, that comes out to $21,600 a year. So if that $30 an hour, or 30 hours a month holds true, it really would bump up against that $20,000 for the year. but you'd have to look at the full rate, and I'd have to calculate out how many estimated people at each of the rates to determine if we would be money ahead that way or not.
Yeah, I think the 20,000 might be a small figure when you're looking at 3% of the gross dollar amount, but at the same time, I would have to think with our fairly stable labor force, which actually makes it much easier for a carrier.
Right.
So I think there's one option still on the table yet that we may want to look at, but
Right.
But
They've sure been good to deal with, so, I mean,
I have to bounce it also at our own human resource department that would have to deal with the issues if they don't flow as good as you want it
Right.
yeah.
to.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions? You want to work with the other guys and get information?
Yeah, I'll go look for them. I was just quickly looking at what we've spent. So our actual, just our healthcare costs, just our group health insurance went from $591,000 in 2013. The estimate last year, I just have the forecast, I have the final in front of me, was $661,000. So it's huge dollars. The difference is now that in the past, our employees paid a flat rate. So now we're moving towards, for now, FOP, you know, is the only one on the percentage basis, but they would go from paying 20% of whatever the premium is for the year, for the month, times 25% for FY16. This year they're paying 20%. So then it becomes a question of, as they bear more of the cost, is it worth it to them to keep the same benefits and the same, or to reduce it a little bit as they pay a higher cost? Okay? All right, let me go look for it.
CBC. Kevin, did she mention when she thought she would have this quote without their commission?
She said soon. I think she said soon.
Soon. I wonder if that's like...
I'm sorry, Lee, that's kind of like
Yeah.
a bigger question
I hear that quite often.
Do you?
It's, like that's status quo or something.
Hi. Are you ready for me to just start talking?
Right. This is CIBC, and Michelle Lombardi was with CIBC in the past. The other two we did not work with in the past. This is Julie Prairie, sorry, and Tony Johnston.
Tony Johnston. Anybody else want to copy those? Michelle's got it back there. And I'm going to focus on this sort of printout PowerPoint. And I'll talk a little bit. And I know we have a limited amount of time, so I'll respect your time. And I want you to be able to ask questions of us. So I'm going to kind of buzz through this PowerPoint discussion, and then I'll give you a few minutes to ask questions. Okay? Thanks. It's our honor to be here this morning. I appreciate the opportunity. My name is Tony Johnston. I'm the President and Chief Operating Officer of CIBC. We're an employee benefits specialist firm. I think you're familiar with us from our Kankakee office, but we're also now in Champaign, as we've merged two offices together, and I'm now the operator and one of the owners of CIBC. So we are a new company from the inside out. We kept the wrapper, the CIBC wrapper, with a valuable brand,
but from the inside out, we have new ownership and new management, and I'm the leader of that new management team. We merged with Champaign, which gave us a very strong team in Champaign and a strong presence there. And in the last few months, we've been merging together our strong teams in both Kankakee and Champaign and readdressing our priorities and making sure that we have our customers and clients well taken care of. I know that your current carrier is Health Alliance. You know, we have a great relationship with Health Alliance, as we do with all other major carriers. But we have an excellent relationship with Health Alliance, and if you turn the page, I'll identify that we're a member of the Health Alliance Elite program, or Health Alliance Elite broker. And because of that, what that means for our clients and what that means for the county is we have access to direct access to Health Alliance's management, underwriting, advocacy, claims, and customer service teams. I'm actually going next week to meet with the Health Alliance brass at an Elite Broker Summit. So we do have a little more access than non-elite brokers do. It allows us to be more efficient when dealing with Health Alliance, and it allows us to have direct access on things like your claims adjudication or underwriting services, which can, in the long run, help us do renewal negotiations more efficiently and help save the county money. We're also professionals with their online enrollment tools, and we see all of their fantastic tools, including they have a fantastic provider finder that allows you to go and say, I want to have shoulder surgery, and I live in Waseca, find everybody within maybe a 50-mile radius and who would be the least expensive on my plan to use those services, and who is the highest rated. So it's a combination of both quality and price. We do have a direct link to that carrier, and that makes us more efficient than non-elite brokers. So if you turn the next page, the reason that I bring up the efficiency is I think this allows us to be less expensive as a broker than other brokers may be because of that efficiency level. So we're proposing our broker compensation not be tied to your premiums. Instead, we're proposing a zero net commission from Health Alliance, removing the commission completely from the Health Alliance billing, and instead an annual fee, line item billed to the county for consulting of $8,000. This way, our fee is not tied to your rates. Okay, and regardless of what carrier you're with, or regardless of what the rates do, our fee stays flat. We think this is a better model for the county. It's more fiscally responsible, and it's the right thing to do so that when you get a 5% increase, we don't get a 5% raise. That's not fair to the county taxpayers. It's not fair to the constituents in the county, and we want to do what we think is fair and right, and we've seen this model work, we've seen it work. You turn the page again, we do provide what I consider enhanced services over traditional brokers. Because we are an employee benefits only firm, my employees, my staff are specialists in just doing employee benefits. We have a fully staffed company with 14 licensed producers that only do group health insurance. We're experts in employee benefits. We're specialists in healthcare reform. We're certified by the National Association of Health Underwriters as PPACA experts. We are experts in things like counting employees and determining who is full-time and not full-time, and whether they need to be on your plan or not on your plan. Measuring the affordability of those employees and making sure that they fit in the 9.5% requirement that the federal law provides for the cost of their benefits. Calculating any potential penalties if you're outside of those boundaries. And most importantly, I think, providing education to management and staff about what the ACA means to them, what their personal health insurance is worth to them, and we will meet one-on-one with your staff to make sure, and your management, to make sure that they're educated, and that means less work for your county employees and less time that they spend worrying about their benefits while they're going about their business day. Okay. On the next page, I will also point out that we have a dedicated advocacy department. The team that you see here, I'm going to introduce as the team that will work with the county, but I also want to point out that we have a dedicated advocate in Reba Metcalf and and Reva is not here with us today, but a dedicated advocate means that's somebody that your employees, your constituents can call and find out all of the benefits of their plan, and if their bills are being paid properly, and if they've been billed the proper amount, and help answer questions about their plan, and if there's a problem. I said we had a close relationship with Health Alliance, but we really go to work for you. We're really your agents. And so we go to bat against the insurance companies in case there's any issues, and make sure that the insurance companies do what's right. Believe it or not, sometimes you look at those behemoths like Blue Cross Blue Shield and Aetna, and you assume that everything they do is right. I can tell you, we deal with them every day. They make a lot of mistakes. A lot of times it just takes a good advocate to figure out where those mistakes are, call them on it, and they'll flip. They'll come back, and that it makes a dollar for dollar difference on what your claims are. We have offices in Kankakee and Champaign, so geographically we're perfectly positioned to manage Iroquois County's clients. And we take a team management approach. So as I said, the team you see here today is the team that represents the county. Myself, Tony Johnston, Julie Phelps, Michelle Lombardi, and Reva Metcalf, who isn't here, but is as close as a phone call whenever you need her. We're also the leader in the market in electronic tools, which is a huge growing market in our industry right now. We have Xywave Broker Briefcase, which we can give the county access to a tremendous library of HR and Affordable Care Act issues, and those can be accessed by anybody here at the county that we give a username and password to. It's a great tool. We use it in-house. Dynamis Plan Designer is an exciting new tool as far as comparing your existing plan to new plans. If the county decides at some point that they want to take a full market analysis, which we would do on a regular basis, and this gives us an electronic way to compare those. Online enrollment, adds and drops, new hires, people leaving the plan, third-party applications that can do that, as well as Health Alliances who have expertise and have ownership of those services. And 1094 and 1095 reporting tools, and this is a big thing now. IRS 6055 and 6056 require that you report to the IRS and report to your employees who's covered and who isn't covered, and we have electronic tools to help you do that. We are strong and growing, satisfying our clients. We're one of the largest downstate independent brokerage firms. Importantly, we're not affiliated with any other major institution. We're completely independently owned. We're really your agents. When you hire us, we go to work and go to bat for the county. We have no ulterior motives. Our only focus is to make sure that you're satisfied. Our only concern is your satisfaction, and our definition of satisfaction is that your employees are satisfied with their employee benefits. Generally, the way that we would do that, we would offer ourselves face-to-face meeting times with your employees, either on a regular monthly basis. We could have someone here who the employees could talk to. Of course, they can always call us or email us directly and talk about that. But also quarterly and annual reviews with the board, with the finance committee, to measure things like utilization, reporting, and trends. And then, of course, on an annual renewal basis, we want to start 6 months out and backfill that 6-month period and make sure that you're prepared when you get to your annual renewal, which is why we're meeting now, to prepare for your later time, to make sure you've got all of your ducks in a row before we go forward. Okay? We would typically do a full market analysis, and we've done that and handed out some paperwork on that here. I've got more information about it if you wanted to go through the process. So again, this is the team that I've got here today. I've got all of our contact information on the sheet. Julie Phelps, lifelong resident of Clifton, Illinois, graduate of Central High School, is that correct? Michelle Lombardi, who I think you know. Michelle, you might remember, is the person who married you with Health Alliance in the first place. So we can thank Michelle for the fact that you're there. And I just want to point out that we're very proud of where we've come and where we're at right now. Reva Metcalf, who I also have on that sheet, is a fantastic asset. And I think that together we can be a great partner for the county. And for years and years to come, I'm dedicated to this industry for years. I know that we can keep them satisfied, your brokerage arrangement. And you're really beholden to a group of taxpayers, and we understand you have a limited amount of income. It's not determined by you how much, but you can't go out and sell more stuff and get more income. So we would be beholden to those taxpayers as well, and make sure that you properly spend the county's money in the most efficient manner so that you can attract and retain employees without busting the bank and without doing what's not right for the county taxpayers. So with that, I'll open the floor and let you ask any questions you have, Barb.
Anybody got any questions?
Michelle has given you some numbers there. So we have started on the process of a full market analysis. I'll tell you right now that plan, Health Alliance, the 7,500 plan is going to be tough to beat price-wise. It's a heck of a plan. We do have some numbers from Land of Lincoln that have come back that are lower, but it's in, it's changing networks, it's changing carriers. There's some question marks. It's kind of confusing the way they do business. So, I can't say that we could make a recommendation right now based off of the information we have. If you wanted to run applications, we'd be more than willing to help you through that process. We're just sure that if you wanted to consider us a brokerage firm, we're sure that you'd be satisfied with our services for years to come. And I can say that with a clear head.
And financially, with removing that compensation from part of your premium, whatever the renewal has been, then that is definitely going to be a decrease in what those bill dollars are to the county, and then what the share is of the employee cost, since we're removing those dollars.
We can estimate that you'll save $15,000 to $20,000 at a minimum by the removal of commissions from Health Alliance.
And that's based on your current.
It's based on your current premium. We believe that your current broker is being compensated at a higher, at maybe a 5% percentage. And if they are, we're immediately promoting a $15,000 to $20,000 reduction off of your costs by us just taking less.
And then one other thing, we are the only Health Alliance broker in Kansas County.
And you're
And you're putting them as well.
Yep. So the addition of our Champaign team really enhances our relationship with Health Alliance.
Do you have the rate size, classification, single, plus, can we get those for your market or for your current?
For the Health Alliance that you're proposing?
Well, the Health Alliance, the current premium, that is what you're being.
That's your existing.
Your 423, your 826.
Because we're not your current broker of record, we're not allowed to get access to your renewal.
Oh, okay.
So that's your current billing for the fiscal year 2015 that you're in right now.
Okay.
If we were made a broker of record, we would have those renewal numbers as well. But because, just to explain a little bit of how the sausage is made, you can only have one broker, and they protect the broker, and we appreciate that if we're a broker. But they protect the broker, so we're not allowed to see information, specific information about your case from Health Alliance, because they're protecting the income of the broker.
We are letting part of the process that we go through is to negotiate that renewal. To get those dollars, not only are we removing that compensation, but we also work with Health Alliance to get that renewal number as well.
So we think this year, with the combination of our ability to negotiate with Health Alliance and the reduction of commission, that we could, potentially save the county $25,000 on next year's plan. And the most important thing is that if we're able to mitigate claims going forward and to work with Health Alliance to make sure and to educate your employees on how to best utilize the HRA, the system they've got, make sure they go to the right hospitals, make sure they go to the right doctors, that will cut out future expenses, so that keeps your renewal lower in the future. So you guys are, in Health Alliance in the world, a pretty big fish. I mean, they have bigger, but any group that would be this size has significant leverage and significant power in negotiation. And brokers like us who have a great relationship with them have typically been very successful at making sure that we can properly negotiate. They love the plan that you're in because you're taking $7,500 worth of risk away from them. Okay? So they love the fact that you're all the way, you've got this huge HRA built in front, and we think that's a fantastic plan. You're a step ahead of the game, which is why we brought it 3 years ago to the table. So to how to future cut costs, we think we can manage your group for $8,000 a year. We think we can keep your costs low with Health Alliance. And if you want to go outside and look at other plans, we're ready every year to run a full analysis and make sure we've got the right plan in place for the county.
Based on the time that we had today, I really in that illustration where we went to market. Just wanted to annualize those figures so that we could identify some potential savings versus your current. Since we don't have the renewal numbers, we can't plug that information in. But what I did is I tried to illustrate those annual numbers to keep the plan in place for the employees. So it includes reimbursement arrangements and such in those 3 years that you're looking at. Of course, if we are elected to be your broker of record, we would spend more time going into that. But in the essence of time, that could take a while. So save you guys from that.
Yeah, these discussions start off 15 minutes and end up 3 hours, and I don't think any of us want that.
We have other items on the agenda.
So it's the bottom part, Michelle, that would be the top part. I'm confused at what I'm looking at.
The top part here are fully funded plans, fully insured carriers. So those are the ones you've heard of, big ones, Aetna, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Cigna, Health Alliance, Humana, Land O'Lincoln's the new one, and of course United Healthcare. The second group is what we call third-party administrators or self-funded products. So you're already partially self-funded, the 7,500 plan. What if you decided to, instead of sending the money to Health Alliance every month, send the money to a bank account every month, and then a third-party administrator administered that bank account, and whatever was left over at the end of the year, the county got to keep, right? So it's risky a little bit, but then you buy stop-loss insurance on top of that. So all these plans below that are fully self-funded plans. There's some real neat products that are out there now that make it feel like fully funded, but it's moving just to simplify, it's moving your individual deductible from $7,500 to something like $25,000 or $75,000, and the county taking on a greater amount of risk, which can lead to a greater amount of reward if you have a healthy year. But you can get slapped on the hand and have a bad experience if everyone gets sick at the same time.
And a few years ago, when they did move from Health Alliance, and how it was completely self-funded, and it didn't bear out very well in the county. There was a lot of additional exposure and relevance. I think that Health Alliance has done a great job in managing the plan. When I look at the historical premium, it's been very, very favorable, I think, overall, compared to what we're seeing in the marketplace. But we have to do our due diligence on behalf of you and the taxpayers and the employees by shopping the market and making sure that we negotiate a lower price agreement with the highest benefit level. So we're trying to balance all of those things out.
We feel very comfortable with the plan you're in right now. There's a $10,000. If you wanted to wade deeper into self-insurance, we could look at the rates on a $10,000 plan. Or if you felt uncomfortable with $7,500, there's a $5,000 that you can come back to as well. But we also feel very good about their network. We happen to know that they're going to add some deep discounts at some local hospitals, including Riverside and Kankakee. That should help cut your costs. The Riverside network is going to have some deeper discounts. Of course, they have Carl, and they have the facility fee situation at Carl Hospital, better with Health Alliance than it is with any other carrier. There's no doubt about that. So people like that lack of facility fees at a big hospital down there. So I'm sure with your territory, you've got some people that go north and some people that go south, and maybe some people that go west too. So we think their network works out pretty well for you as well. But we're going to do every year, we're going to look at the whole gamut and see what's best for the county.
What's the average renewal you're seeing?
There isn't really an average. For small groups, some of them are getting pounded if they go to the ACA plan. They're seeing 20% renewals in the small group category. If they have to go to community rated and ACA compliant plans. I don't know what your renewal is now, but we're seeing a lot of large group renewals, depending on the health of the group, that are working more in the 5 to 7% range. Trend is 7 to 9. Yeah. So if you're healthy and you get a 5 to 7% increase, that means Health Alliance made a little money on you last year, and they're not going to punish you as much as the people that they lost money on. But that's kind of the way it's working out right now. There's going to be, if you were ever to get to community rated, which I don't think it's going to climb up there because your number of employees, your number of total employees, yeah, your full-time equivalent is going to
160?
So you guys say community rating. If you were community rated, I think you see a significant rate increase because in community rating, you're taking on the health of the world instead of the health of your group. And the first people that are jumping on the Affordable Care Act plans are the least healthy. So the wagons get heavier, and we're all pulling a heavier wagon from a community rating standpoint. But when you're in your own group, just the health of your group matters. So, some people that are very unhealthy small groups are thrilled for community rating. They're getting decreases. And other groups that are small and healthy are not thrilled with the community rating, or they're stringing it out as long as they can on their old plan. You like your plan, you can keep your plan for at least a year more.
Anybody have any questions? Any department heads or elected officials got any? No dumb question here.
I'd be happy to answer any personal questions you have about, I'm in ownership of CIBC and steering the ship, so I'd be happy to answer any questions you have about our brokerage and our firm and my plans for the future and things like that. I'm an open book. Yep. Bill still has an ownership interest, and Bill and I get along great and work together on a daily basis. But I'm probably more suited for the operations side, and I'd like to send Bill out to sell. He's good at putting people together with other people and has a lot of great relationships. So, thank you very much. All of our contact information is on that back page, and again, you can contact me directly. I'd be happy to talk to you.
Thank you
very much.
Are we going to discuss it further? If we're going to discuss it further, Susie had wanted to come back in case there were questions or concerns.
She looks like she's cheaper than this guy anyway.
It's too hard for me to tell without the rates, no.
Let me clarify, this proposal in the CIP was the consulting, where we paid the fee. So this was a consulting proposal.
I don't care if you bring her back in.
Right. So the difference is, really from what I could tell, the rates are going to be the rates. They're both willing to take out the consulting fees. The IBC is saying $8,000. Susie is saying an hourly rate not to exceed $20,000. So we have risk between $8,000 and $20,000.
She said that was negotiable.
Right. She did say it was negotiable.
Yeah. She said that was negotiable.
Do you want me to get her? I don't want to be
Has
unfair.
anybody got any complaints about Homestar? Have you heard anything from your employees that they're not happy? I mean, now's the time if somebody's happy.
Set that down and walk away. Thank you.
Does that price change according to claims in your time?
I think you buy a year, and then your claims determine next year.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I think. If we got them here, we can ask them.
About the only time they slip a Mickey on you is the age change of individuals.
The thing I like about
When they do what?
Sometimes
The thing I like about
38,
Oh, yeah.
somebody had a birthday
the
during the
All-Star
year.
group, they came in and would give us numbers up front, when this group didn't for years, and we kept trying to get them.
Mhm.
And I think that's important with our budget cycle.
And you know they want their feet back in the door big time.
Oh, I bet. So, I mean, I don't have an issue with either one of them, but as far as trying to figure a budget and cover costs, it's nice to have them. Okay. You're up. What are we gonna ask? Well,
I can't think of any questions. I have, we have the rates, we have the specific rates by classification for all our employees, so we know that going in, it would just be a question of me trying to estimate, to get to an annualized cost, who's at what, which I can do, and I usually do at budget time.
And I will send you through, once you do get the rates back without that commission, so you guys can see what that is as well.
Okay.
And judge from there.
What do you think the timing is
I
on
was
that?
hoping to have them today. I got in the office about 7 this morning. She didn't have them to me yet, so I'm going to touch base with her when I get back. I would assume tomorrow at the latest or Monday.
Okay, and then, so right now, they've given us a 3% increase if we sign now.
Just as is, yeah.
Did they say to you, like, when we need to sign in order to hold that rate? Like, what our timing is?
I can find out and get back to you. I know we have some leeway.
Do we have, like, a couple weeks?
Yes, I think we have probably till the end of August, or even part of August, and I can find out for sure.
Okay.
And see to you today.
Yes, what I'm thinking is, we really don't have rates to compare, something that's comparable. So if we can get the rates without the commission, that would give us a better idea. And we've got, well, we'll talk about it later, but budget hearings will be the end of this month. So if we have the numbers by then, maybe at the budget hearing on insurance, we can make the decision then, so it'd be around the first week of August.
Okay.
Would they be able to hold
I'm
that?
sure they will make that exception. I will fight if they don't, but I'm sure they will.
Okay. Okay.
Any other questions?
And you'll be able to give us more idea on this consulting fee that you're talking?
Oh, yeah. And we
$50 an
earlier,
hour.
you asked about a month, how much month. I was shooting over there. I was thinking probably 30 hours a quarter. I said a month, but it's really a quarter.
Hey, that's different.
And I am
that'd be $20,000.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure what you mean. That's, I go, I was thinking a quarter. She goes, yeah, a month. I go, I know, so that's my step there. And of course, one you did, yeah, that's why I'm so sorry, and I wanted to touch base on that. And then, that will, so you'll see a increase in that when we do our benefit meetings and have the open enrollment meetings, things like that. But other than that, it's probably 30 hours a quarter.
So that'd be 7,200 for the year.
No pop-up in the parking lot.
Okay. Any other questions? I'm glad I clarified that. I'm so sorry for that.
Okay?
You're good. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So essentially the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Health Alliance is going to give our group the same rate regardless. The only difference is in the commission. Well, they're both proposing to do the same thing. Take the commission out of the premium amount, and then we pay that separately. The only thing that becomes difficult is now we have the so we're going to have this commission bill, and right now it's included in the premium, which means the employee share covers part of that. The county will cover all of it. See what I'm saying? Unless I was to attribute a certain percentage of the commission by each policy, and that would be very challenging to do.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Smeared across all of them.
You look confused. So right now, we pay $429.25 a month for single coverage, okay? That includes the commission here that Homestar receives. So to get the price lower, the premium amount lower, both of them have proposed taking that commission out. So let's say it's $20 a month. Then the premium bill to us, apples to apples, would be, instead of $4.29, it would be $4.19. And the employee share, I'm going to use FOP as an example, but as we go to a percentage, the employee share next year for single coverage will be 25% of the premium. This year, it's $429.25, and it includes the commission paid to her. Next year, theoretically speaking, it would be 25% of $419. But then we're going to get a separate bill every quarter for the commission. And how do you attribute 25% of that back to each employee? I don't know how you would do that. So the county would end up paying that portion, I would think. That would be your decision. But to try to administer that from my department would be challenging. Make sense? Okay. I just wanted to point that out would be a difference in doing it. You would save more on the premium amount, but there would be a cost on the back. It won't be a dollar for dollar savings, is all I'm saying, to the county.
Well, we need to keep this live in our head, but we got budget hearings, so...
Yeah, and we got other information coming.
Right, there's another...
No emergency decision to be made.
It's a work in progress, let's leave it that way.
Yeah, we haven't got our backs against the wall yet, so...
Okay, but we're going to have to decide if we're not, if we don't, I don't know.
30 days usually.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so next,
No-brainer, huh? Want to table that then, not discuss it?
okay, so you're next.
Damn, I stayed up all night studying that.
Yeah.
All right, the next thing, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Horton Group, John English? I'm assuming that's you. Josh.
yeah, that's exactly what it says. As a word of introduction, the Horton Group actually stopped by my office on a cold call maybe 2 months ago, probably, theoretically, and we had kind of a discussion about trends they're seeing in the industry, about concerns they're seeing with other municipal entities that they insure, concerns they have. They do a lot in terms of training and assistance, etc. I explained to them we weren't putting our liability, there weren't plans at that time to put our liability insurance out to bid. What they're looking to do is introduce their company and kind of let us know that they're out there as an option to our current broker. So, is that a good explanation? No, thanks, that's all right, I'm done.
It wasn't cold all. We're working with the school district in Iroquois County on their program, or at least talking to them about some options on their program, and then give these for everyone. Josh and I travel a lot together, and I grew up on a farm about 8 miles outside of Princeton, Illinois. And he has to listen to my farm stories every time we get into agriculture. And telling him about how, like a week ago, I said we went in on a farm, they went up and we had all the relatives over, and we were playing baseball with my cousins, and my dad and my uncles were underneath the tree having lemonade, talking about how the corn needs to be knee-high by the quarter. And that was 60 years ago. And now you look at the corn thing.
Things have really changed. We used to worry about 80 bushels, 90 bushels, acre. But the farm changed a lot over the years. It's so insurance, and we've implemented a lot of services within our company that we feel are needed by our clients. And one of the things we wanted to do today was not only talk about what we're doing, but the changes that we've implemented over the years to help our clients and municipalities. We do a very large public payment practice. Our portfolio is located in 3 states, 4 because we have a very small office. But three main locations. We've got about 800 public entities that we work with. And Josh is going to go over some of the things that we do and talk a little more about what we're working on.
Yeah, and where do you guys want me to stand on this board, correct? Okay.
This is your committee.
Okay, I want to kind of see everyone's story. Do I need to address everyone here? Okay. I don't have my bag back here, but,
way we're set up.
yeah, I just want to at least see some of you folks. So, in the package here, the first tab's a little bit about us, and we kind of do things, we try to do things a little differently. As Les was talking about, you're farming more per acre. There's more expected out of insurance people and insurance products nowadays, and we try to work with the carrier, but we also try to provide more from an agency standpoint. Throughout this binder, you're going to see various services that we offer as part of our agency. Some risk management, some safety, tie into the health insurance. We have a wellness program through the Virgin Health Miles. I know I'm not here to talk about health insurance, but you were on the board earlier, so we're trying to offer various things. A lot of our philosophy is kind of forward thinking, not so much what are we dealing with now, but what's on the horizon. Under the second tab there, you see municipal sector watch list. We're putting together seminars throughout the years, and the next few pages will show a few that we have upcoming and a few that were in the past. But hot topics, we're working with attorneys that are seeing, we're talking with our municipalities on what issues they're dealing with. Obviously, everyone knows about the Cadillac tax that's coming around, that's a big issue. But the philosophy important with what we have in the prior few pages is what we call a journey line. Where are you at now, and where's the county at right now in your journey? And how can we get you to a higher level along that journey throughout a higher level of success through these tools that we offer you as an agency? So the next few pages, under tab 3, services we provide. These are kind of your expected services that we offer you. These should be expected from every agent, but we don't see it from a lot of municipalities that we're talking with. So it's something that I at least wanted to go over briefly. We insure over 800 municipalities throughout Illinois, Wisconsin, and Indiana. The markets that we have access to are exclusive to us in a few areas that other brokers, larger brokers and smaller brokers don't have access to. We work with an attorney on staff for contract review, special events, legal leases, contracts that you guys may be entering into. You want to have our attorney look at it, maybe save a little bit on the other end, and he reviews it from an insurance standpoint. Dedicated loss control and risk management. I have a couple tabs in here that address that, because there is a lot going on in the industry and how we can minimize claims from a safety and loss control perspective by bringing a dedicated loss control consultant out here doing surveys and a few different assessment reviews, which I'll get into in a few minutes. The last one is Succeed. That's an online portal that we offer to our clients for anyone. You have it right there under tab 4. It goes into some online training, safety, MSDS sheets, certificate management, HR, legal area of it. This is just something that comes with working with us. This is a step towards the safety and risk management. The full-blown risk management, if you go to tab 6, this is our network safety consultants division. Gary Slater has been in the industry 30 years, worked through various OSHA programs. they'll come out and talk to you about doing a proposal for you on the safety side of things. So this is in addition to the insurance, that we try to look at your risk management from all standpoints, because if you're going to control your costs and claims and be preventative, that's going to ultimately drive down your insurance costs and help you in that direction. One interesting thing that we've got in our office, if you go towards the end of that tab 6, last 3 pages there, last 3 or 4, we have an isokinetic strength testing machine in our office, and we're getting a lot of ground with this.
The
last 3 pages.
The last
tab
3
6.
pages is yeah.
There you go. Should have separated it by another tab, but it's a pre-employment strength testing machine that you would send possible candidates out on a pre-employment basis, maybe through the police department or public work department or any department where maybe there's a physical labor involved. And what we're seeing is the rate of the testing rate has a higher failure rate than a private doctor. And what we're trying to do is minimize you guys from hiring a claim and salvaging good work comp experience and everything like that. So when you hire someone, they may have an internal injury that you don't know about that isn't recovered until they're out there doing an action, and you guys put a bill for it. So what we're looking at on this is on a pre-employment basis, sending them to us. We can verify, have them run through this machine, and the failure rates, I believe, about 17% versus a private doctor, which is under 5%.
Actually, the machine, you use, it's used by a lot of professional law teams as well. They are genetic, computer measures, I didn't take up that, I had a frozen shoulder here, and now I had a guy, I know it's going to be flipped all over that screen when it measures me, because it's going to show me weakness every time I move that arm in a certain way. So it's really been beneficial for our clients that have been using it, and there's been, I think that Josh has mentioned that 17% of your labor.
I know it's a little distance from you guys, but it's something that we're looking at creating a mobile version of it if the distance is too much. But we're trying to come up with creative ways to bring our costs down and bring you guys to that next level. A lot of what we're talking about is service-oriented. I'm buying a product and insurance policy, but when you're also buying a service from us. Next tab under tab 7 is kind of where we want to find out how can we service you better. And this is actually an employee survey for you that we would give to you and have your employees do on your current safety and risk management. And this helps us establish a stronger risk management approach. Because a lot of times you'll have someone in a position of management that says, we've got a great safety and training program, our employees know this, but then you talk to the employees and they may think otherwise. So it's something that we provide kind of a survey to find out where we can help you from all standpoints. Obviously you guys have the power to supersede what we do, but we want to make sure we're listening on all fronts. The following tab, tab 8, is what we call a service schedule. This is where we put our promise on paper. This is where we're going to outline what we're going to do for you throughout the year, whether it's basic insurance changes, coming out here 3 or 4 times a year to talk to you guys about audits, talk to you about accident review, what claims that may happen. We're putting this on paper, and this is kind of our roadmap throughout the year for you guys to say, all right, have we done this for you? And this makes sure that we do. The last tab, kind of tab 9, is a little bit on discussions that we came up with specific to Iroquois County and things that are going on with other municipalities in now. And I know you can touch base on a few of these because the claims you've seen are firsthand.
Sure. Well, extra special limit is one that typically we like to talk to our clients. What that does is, if you were to have a major claim, not to a building, you may have what's going to be the extra expense involved, It can be substantial. You've got to rebuild a building in order to hit your needs. You've got to have to the jail, and have to relocate people, prisoners to another location that's going to be additional cost. We take a look at that, make sure we've got the right extra spending on it, so it doesn't affect the budget. Since that's our interruption, that actually applies to property taxes. If you go a large source from a particular entity, we have cities that really come down. They have a Walmart account, Sam's Club, and they get a lot of revenue in there. If something might happen at that location, tornado, fire, whatever, but they plan in the budget that money coming in, and this protects them and cover that loss of tax revenue. Should have building go down. Good. Do you have any historical buildings in town that if something were to happen to it? I mean, that are yours, property that have one of communication? Okay.
The old courthouse. Yeah, that's what you're referring to, right? Yeah.
You know, there's we can actually offer it to a couple of our peers. Companies will actually come in and they'll recreate that experience. They have the line or stone from Lee in order to, they'll do it. There's a cost associated with that. And we can afford either on a place cost normal or place cost or federal.
If I'm not mistaken, then one of your old county buildings was cut down a long time ago? In the 1800s?
In the 1800s.
Yeah, they thought it was arson because of some, I was reading the website and I thought I remember that story.
Yeah, no idea.
When they moved from Old Town.
Right. Yeah, that was where Montgomery?
Well, yeah, and then when they made the move, they were keeping the records somewhere else on one of the banks or something that didn't burn. So yeah, the old town square on the west side of town used to house the jail and the courthouse before the one in 1866 was built.
Okay. It's on your website, I was reading up a little on
I still
it.
got the one from 1860.
Do you? Okay.
I want to keep that cornerstone. I mean, they've got the courthouse right there in the center square now. They something have that, they wouldn't want it. That's the word, that's on all the pictures. They wouldn't want that done. But we've got coverage like that available for some of our companies. You want that. We always like to look at the law enforcement. I don't know. Right now, you're familiar with exoneration claims that are taking place across the country and people in jail for 20 or 30 years. We do Washington, and that has two in the last 3 years. One went 9 million, and the other went 5 million. And I was sitting there with the last October, and the third one came in. The 80s and 90s, not the police department was being run properly, and they've got a lot of issues up there. They're going to be paying out some pretty big money. So as I look at the limits, I mean, I've got a number of South Chicago Heights is my client, claims, Carroll County is one of my clients, Indiana. They have one from the 84. City of Anderson in Madison County, they've got one running right now as well. We like to make sure that the limits are all proper in each place. You got 899 dogs?
Sure, back in the corner, but you got no dogs, so.
Okay. Well, the 911 section, it's interesting because these seem to be handled differently by a lot of the counties. Some of them, you're picking up all the costs, and others, they've got to buy their own insurance. We've got companies that can do it any way you want, and it's just a matter of what fits, your situation. I know
ICON. We have our own center for Iroquois County.
Right. It's shared with a lot of different entities?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's make, okay, we have questions like, okay, if something happens, whose insurance are going to go under, and who's responsible for them deductibles, and, if your staff team, they do it right, you do it right, but they arrive late, or they go to the wrong location, who's responsible? We like to sit down and have that kind of conversation now before the claims eventually happen. I've kind of taken some of the jobs out.
No, you're fine.
Rock Island County, I was involved 20 years ago with that situation. They were collecting the tax dollars, they were giving it to wrong schools, and some business came in and saw that he wasn't getting the tax dollars from this one area. That was like $100,000 in this area. That was over it was $100,000 each year. Over 3 years, they were giving the money to the wrong school district. He wanted, that school district wanted $300,000. And the other school districts said, we are, and we don't, money running around, we spend it. And the county was like, well, we don't have the money to get it to you. And I tried to get the insurance carrier to pay for it, and they were saying, well, it's a fiduciary liability exposure. And it's not covered under the policy, so I make sure it's not talked about nowadays. That's talking about fiduciary liability coverage. And maybe I've got controls in place that could prevent a problem like that from happening. Again, something we like to put on the table, so everybody's aware that it's probably not covered in your current policy. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, a lot of these are just points. A lot of these are points of review. A lot of these are points of what we're seeing in our other municipalities. Kind of going back to the second tab, where we're our watch list for 2015 and beyond. These are issues that we want to prepare for and deal with before they hit us. I'm going to go back a little bit and mention that journey line, which is in back to tab 2, back to tab 1. We want to be proactive and not reactive. And I grew up watching Wayne Gretzky play hockey. Unfortunately, at that time, because Blackhawks weren't televised on home games, so I got to watch Wayne Gretzky, and he puts a quote out there that always resonated with me. I skate to where the puck is going, not to where the puck is at. And that's kind of where our philosophy is at, where we want to be prepared for what's happening and be proactive and not reactive. So, in conclusion, I leave you with this, and we just ask that you guys do come up for the renewal towards the end of the year, and you are looking, we would be appreciated if you guys did consider us. I do understand we're not as local as your current broker now, and that was one thing I did want to talk to you about. If that's an issue, I'd like you to think about it, and I understand it may be, but I'd like to address it now rather than towards the end of these.
This might be a dumb question, but I missed some. Are you your own insurance company or your broker?
We're a brokerage. We represent
a bunch of different.
Yeah. We're an open, we're an agency, and we have multiple carriers that represent public entities. Kind of depends on the fit and the need and what kind of exposure you guys do have. We did a little bit of digging on the website, and I know a little bit about it, but later on we would do more of a thorough review, probably meet with the sheriff, meet with some of the department heads, and learn a lot more about you so we can come up with a proper program for you.
Okay. Anybody got any more questions? Well, thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Excellent presentation.
Yeah.
Great talk.
All right.
Oh, I don't see it, Stephanie.
Yeah, our name and number is on the front page, but I'll hand out these cards anyway.
Love it. Oh, you're related to Buffett. That's why.
You guys know Frank Poppy? I know you do.
That sounds like a Gilman name.
Yeah, he is a Gilman name. He works with us. Grew up in Gilman.
Actually, one of the owners, though. He's one of the owners of our company.
Oh.
You sure that's going to help him? All right, we're up to the department head report.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you. Mindy, you got anything?
We received a replacement tax wire last night that's listed on here. The April income tax, $192,000 one, appears like it's going to come through tonight. So you know that.
Appears.
And we did first tax distribution July 1st. Went well. The general fund received $655,000. That is not on your June 30th treasurer's report, just so you know that none of those distributions are in there. Okay. That's all I have.
Okay. Eric, you got anything?
It's been rather wet,
Really?
especially last night, but kind of got out in 3 or 4 inches. And, well, I've been sitting here getting more updates on my phone about what the situation is. So, I have a lot of claims that went to policy procedures last week. A lot of it related to training and also going to and other meetings throughout the county. Besides that, I'd rather to do with flooding. That's probably not good for my work.
Kind of ironic, this guy's talking about 80, 90 bushel of corn, that's what we're worried about now. Okay, thank you.
Can we get home before the water comes up?
How about the corner, anything up?
The reason I'm here is, we are getting very, very low on our autopsy line item. Last year, it wasn't an issue, this year it is. It's just a line item we can't control, but it is, I've got a little bit of money in an automation fund that I can put towards it, but I mean, it's not, I'm going to need some help. I'm going to need some help.
The budget for the year is $35,000, and through the end of June, he has spent $25,492. So he's got about only 25% of his budget remaining, with 40% of the year remaining.
And we had one yesterday, so, sorry.
What did I tell you?
When it rains, it pours.
Yeah, exactly right. It's been a bad year, so. But anyway, that's something that, you know, at $10,000 in an automation fund, I'm willing to put some of that towards it, but I'd like to keep some back because I don't have any office expense line items that, you know, I need to keep some back in case something come up, so.
If the last 5 months of the year continue like the first 7, he'll end the year with $43,700 in expense versus a $35,000 budget. So we have
It's been a line on this budget for years. It's been,
Yeah, we understand, you can't control it.
it's just not Bill's budget, but in the corner budget.
I don't have the final actual numbers
doesn't-
from last year.
Doesn't make any difference.
But, yes, it is a lot more than last year. Wasn't last year
Last
kind
year,
of low?
yeah, last year was under budget, this year.
Right, right.
That's all I need to know.
But the year before last, there was an issue. Last year seemed to be okay, and now this year again.
Yeah, this year again.
Kind of cycle.
Business dying off.
What I always pray for is if I hit October, it'll hit November's budget, so it'll be next year.
No, we have to accrue it. Can't do that. In the old days, you could do that, but...
We get away with some of that, now we don't.
No. Yeah, Charlie, he was at 34,300 in fiscal year 13, and 31 last year, and now he's pacing at 43, so.
Well, maybe it'll be like this rain sooner or later, it's gotta quit.
I hope so. I hope so.
We don't need to take any action on that now, do we?
No, I just want to call, or just want to let you guys know. That's all.
How's Lisa doing?
I'm fine. Have nothing to report.
Nobody's dying off of any part of it.
Okay. Derek?
talked with Anita, the insurance company issued a check for the squad that was totaled, and I'm looking right now, I know in about 3 weeks we've got budget, so I'm looking at hopefully if we can link cars through the rest of this fiscal year. It's been 6 years now since we've kind of gotten off of the rotation of replacing squads on a regular basis. This is the year that it's going to kind of hit me hard. So what I'm looking at right now is, I know capital expense-wise last year for jail, between two projects, or I guess this year for jail, between the generator and the roof, that's about $95,000 roughly between those two projects. Speaking with Larry, there's not a real pressing issue under the water pipes on the upper second floor of the jail, which I think that ran under $15,000 this year. There's really no other major capital improvements over there. So I guess to kind of give you a little look into one of the things I'll be presenting in my budget is I'm looking at between squad cars and I mentioned last month the investigator vehicles that were one 14 years old, the other one 10 years old. Going 5 vehicles in 1 year. In my fleet vehicle fund by the end of this fiscal year, with this insurance check that would go in there, I'm looking at probably at least close to $20,000 in there. I'd be looking at obviously putting that towards them, and instead of the $50,000 to replace vehicles, I got this year maybe 100 thereabouts, with 20 of them coming out of the fleet vehicle fund. So that's the discussion of 3 weeks from now. But at some point, we went 1 year without replacing any squad. 2010, 2011, I think we replaced one, and then we tried to get 2 a year for the last 3 years. And prior to that, we were every 2 years we were replacing. 1 year we replaced the 4 squads, and then 2 years later 3 and 4 and 3, and our calls for service are up, not as much so far this year, but we're still running 4% higher than 2014. We're still, out of the entire fleet of squads, out of the 7 squads, we're putting about 35,000 miles on total, so about 5,000 miles on the squad. So they're getting their use,
And you had said that on your, the ones that the detectives use, they buy used.
Yeah, you can buy used, they're unmarked, you can buy used, you get them at a cheaper rate.
Just so everybody understood that.
Yeah, so, but other than that, the overtime in jail, this month of June was a lot. I think we had a little over 300 hours, and we had, I used a part-time employee 48 hours of that as well. So, it was, it's going to be the same for the line items with vacations having to be used, and the folks got to use that time, use it or lose it by their anniversary date. So, but I mean, other than that, things have been going all right. We've got 1 of 2 inmates that's been ordered to go to the state hospital for psychiatric treatment. That's based finally open for 1 of them, so that's a big relief to us in jail, dealing with some of the mental problems in that facility can be trying at times. And then I told Judicial we did have an incident where the inmate got indicted by the grand jury yesterday that had an inmate throw a cup full of liquid in the face of a correctional officer. From what we determined, there was nothing biological in it, but employee went and immediately got an eye wash station there at the jail. They went and washed their eyes out, and then they were were taken out to the ER for treatment for that inmate, then indicted on charges for that, so.
That sounds like somebody made a bad deal worse, didn't it?
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's it.
Oh.
The only thing is, yeah, on juvenile detention, we didn't need 16, something like that, or sheriff, transfer back, what it's at. Through May, we spent just under 3,000 detention, or 10,000, just in June.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to check out, because they have 0 detention for the next 2 months, but we still are a little under, for the year, we should be under, again, it's hard.
It's summer.
Yeah, and it's just, it is what it is, and I think that's the screen for us right now. So like I said, it's busy June. But that's it. We'll watch that, but that's definitely.
Is there anybody else there? That's it. Oh. Okay, let's go to the 16 budget.
Oh,
What do you want to set up hearing dates?
yes.
Do I want to? No. I
Yes.
haven't heard anything from the governor. I did hear yesterday on the radio that he's willing to talk about raising taxes because he's asking them guys to do things that they don't like, the people that want to raise taxes. So we don't know where we're at yet with that. I kind of wish we'd know.
Kevin, I got
But
I got this, I belong to ASB, I got a flyer from ASB.
The union.
House Bill number 200 is a bill that they're going to introduce and cut the state income tax by 50% that we receive. The bill was defeated. Just recently.
okay. So we still don't know where we're at with the cuts
It'll be another way.
from the governor, so. Anybody got an idea on dates for the budget? When do we usually start?
About the time you start picking corn.
It is usually the last week of July, at least it has been the last couple of years, either the week of the 20th, if you look at the calendar right behind you, the week of the 20th or the week of the 27th. I don't have the budget sheets out to everyone. Last year I had them out July 11th, the worksheets. I'll be a few days later than that. It'll be early next week by the time I get them out to everybody. So the week of the 20th would be a push for them to get them done and then back to me. I'm wondering, like, the week of the 27th, how that would work for the committee to have hearings. Usually we try 3 mornings, 2 to 3 hours each morning during that week.
And we have a P&P already on, probably on the
30th.
Yeah, so we can,
27, 28, and 29.
Everybody got it, no problem?
References? Everybody's going to be around.
I don't know, I got a doctor appointment sometime in there, but I got a...
Me too.
There is a couple of little things scheduled, I don't know if you paid any attention to that, a couple of things.
oh,
scheduled.
no.
I haven't seen
Oh,
that.
no. What is that?
On the 28th, volunteer services, and then adult protective services. It looks like this room is still from 9 to 1:30. And on the 29th,
I could check in there, but I think volunteer service misses the month of July.
okay.
I'll go down and find
Okay.
out.
And then on the 29th, caregiver advisory meeting is from 11:30 to 1. July 30th is the DNP meeting.
Right.
Nothing on the 27th, nothing on the 31st scheduled.
I will not be here on the 31st, that Friday. What did you say is on the 28th?
Volunteer services and adult protective services, it looks like he's going to go down and check on that. I don't know who does adult protective services.
Are you going to use this road?
Right. That's what I'm not thinking. Time to think of it.
Yep.
Right. same with this. The 29th wouldn't matter, that's 11:30, we're usually out of here before 11. So I think we could definitely schedule the 29th. What, on the 27th, did you have anything? Nothing? 27th?
So checking on the 28th.
So the only thing would be the 28th. The 30th PMP, we could bump that back an hour, bump PMP back, do 8 to 10 and 10 to 11 for PMP, or do after PMP if we wanted to do something like that. Do you have an answer?
Yeah, they're not using the ring this month. They just asked not to raise the rent.
Make a note of that, Kevin.
So the 28th is open?
Yeah.
Okay. Until 11:30. I thought the 29th was 11:30.
Well, it is.
Okay.
There's adult protective services on the 28th, and caregiver advisory meeting. I'm not sure they're both health department.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're both at 11:30, which is fine. We're usually out of here. Everybody's tired by 10 or 10:30 anyway and burnt out. So, do you want to do, what time do you want to start? So we could do the 27th, the 28th, and the 29th? Do you want to do that?
At what time?
Well, that's the
6
question.
a.m.?
What time do you want to start? Do you want to start at
6?
9? Do you want to start at 8:30? Do you want to start at...
6 in the evening.
Hey,
It doesn't matter.
Kevin? I know you're kind of more like a 8:30 guy, right?
9?
9?
8:39.
9?
But if we got some other meetings, we'll have to bump it back to 8:30.
8:30 to 11. I'll schedule it for 8:30 to 11 all 3 days.
That sounds all right?
That should work.
We'll go ahead and put it on.
Thank you. I don't have to send the email and lay it all out. You got it? Great, thank you.
What 3 days, Sam?
Yes,
Which one?
27?
29?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
What's so hard about that?
Now, do people like the Federal Board or mental health board get notices of these meetings?
I usually talk to them. They don't usually present at these 3 hearings. We're usually, at this point, just focused on getting the general fund tied down. And in fact, last year, and I would propose we do that this year too, we actually put public health off until after their August meeting, so that I can get through general fund. We can lay that down along with our insurance, our liability, our workers' comp, unemployment, that kind of focus of the whole thing. And then towards the end of August, we do the externals, and I talk to all those people, Jean, and coordinate all theirs. And then public health last year was the end of August also, so I would propose we do the same thing. Does that sound okay as a plan?
That sounds good. I like to concentrate on the...
Right, right. Once we get that general fund tied down, then that's really where the bulk of our angst comes from.
Because we got a lot of issues, like our pension issues and things like that, we'll need to come back and look at later for levy time.
Right. Okay.
Got that all settled? All right, discussions and motion on non-union employee health insurance contributions.
That was referred here from PMP, and what has historically happened is that the non-union employees paid the same rates as the AFSCME employees. What's going to happen here is, hopefully soon, we'll resolve the AFSCME contract, which is backdated to December 1st of 2013. Okay? So they will get a pay raise, a retroactive pay raise, offset, if the way it is now in the tentative, offset by an increase in health insurance contribution. FOP has been paying since 12/1 of 2013 these higher rates. The first year, they went 2014, fiscal 2014, they went to a 15%. This year, they're paying 20%. For FY16, it will be 25%. The thing I talked to Carl about is you've got non-union people. So there's, I think, 20 of us that are currently paying these old rates. At what time are you going to get them consistent with everybody else? Are you going to wait for the ASME contract to be signed? And then when you do that, are you going to retroactive it a year and a half, which is bad for some people and good for others. 13 people it'll be bad for, 7 the plus 1 coverage, employee plus spouse, employee plus family. That coverage goes down under these rates if you make it consistent. So would you go back and give people back money from a prior fiscal year and go back and charge other people who are not expecting a back charge? And literally for single coverage, it turns out to be about $350. They don't have a backdated increase to offset that expense. There's a lot of issues around doing this. So the question is, what do you want to do and when do you want to do it? There is nowhere that it is written in our policies that non-union pays the same as ASME. There is nowhere. That's just the common practice. So you can separate the two and increase the non-union people now to be consistent with FOP. In other words, they would start paying 20% right now. You could wait. You could do nothing. You could,
Well, it's inevitable that's going to happen.
right.
It has to happen.
If you want to be consistent across the work group.
Yeah, we're going to get bid if we're not.
And that's what we've been working for on the union side, is moving everybody to the same amount.
Right, and that's what we're trying to get to.
Right.
It's unfortunate that this ASME thing worked out like this. But
I don't expect anything to happen until it's settled and have fixed or real figures to work with. You know what I mean? And make some adjustments if you wanted to, but it will only muddy the waters even more, wouldn't it?
Well, it would for ASME, but for non-union, again, they're totally separate.
I understand.
we should get as many of these where we want to be as soon as we can, because it's a budget affecting issue.
Okay, yeah, I see that too. Correct.
You know,
Well, my feeling to it is not to do anything until we have a new signed contract.
we haven't been in love that long. They drag their feet here, terrible.
And after we sign the contract, I would have no retro changes. It's just, we're starting to split hairs too much. But some people have a lot of time on their hands to look at that.
Do you send any signals if they start to play with it before?
Not a perfect world.
What?
It's not a perfect world.
That's for sure. No doubt about that.
What if I want to do?
FOP goes to 25% next year.
December 1st. If we do nothing,
If we start doing 25% right now, we're gonna...
Well, no,
FOP is on 20% this year. So, and that's the other issue. We stepped FOP into this so that they can kind of get used to it. If you wait and then you're going to take these people and you're going to move them from $50 a month to 25%, that's going to be a big jump. Right now, if you move them to 20%, they're going to, the single people will go from paying $50 a month to $85 a month. Right. So next year, that's an extra 5% over that. So that's a big jump. The advantage to changing it now means you're allowing them to get used to the higher deduction.
and it has to happen with our insurance.
Yeah. And some of these are like part-time regular type folks.
not part-time, full-time. But I mean, there are some people here who make
What's our hourly? How many hours per week is it required to be?
30,
30. We got 30, so they're all 30-hour plus.
right.
So we got some people probably just doing 30.
35 is the minimum of people on our group insurance.
The non-union.
Right,
Okay.
right, right. And elected officials, it's really, the group is non-union, so the chief deputies and the elected officials,
Yeah,
and then a few other people that are non-union. Me, Bob.
It's not a family?
That, the rates for, employee plus spouse go down if you follow this same rates at FOP. The rates for employee plus spouse would go down by $3.88 a month, so very minimal. The rate for employee plus children would go down at, following FOP, $27.38 a month. The rate for family coverage would go down by, I don't have the monthly amount because there's nobody on it, but by about $650 a month. Right now, what's in the AFSCME and non-union, which is why no one is on it, they pay $1,100.54 a month. When you make them consistent with FOP at 50% the premium rate, it's about $650 a month. So it's a big difference, but it's why there's nobody on that. So I think the other thing we may see come December is that we may see people go with family coverage when they've never been able to do that before.
Anita, what is the employee go if the employee individual?
$35.85 single coverage, $35.85 a month.
Because there was, and whatever the committee, it's your decision, but as far as retro going back, there was the 1 year, and off the top of my head, I can't remember what it was, where the elected officials and their chief executive, I think non-union people doubled their time, they paid $100, I think it was a month, instead of $200 a month.
I've got it in file.
Yeah, there was one to help with the insurance side of it, so,
The board
and that was
chairman.
only for 1 year.
The board chairman at the time came to us
Yes.
and asked us, would you step up and help because of our financial situation?
We should keep that in mind,
We did.
you know. But these are your people.
Well, that's them and me.
Yeah.
It's us. What do you guys want to do?
Well, yeah, we have no desire to hurt you. We don't know if it's better to do it one way or the other. What's better for you people? What would you like?
You guys and your chief deputy.
Yeah, talk to them.
I can't see going back and asking for money.
No.
I really can't.
I mean, we want to be fair. We're not trying to, we just got to get it to where, everybody knows we got to get it to where it's got to go. Now, what's your poison? What do you want?
And moving forward, the rates are what they are. We need to pay out.
Yeah.
Whenever you used to,
Yeah.
I mean, I only have the employee coverage, they're looking to go up $35.
Yeah.
A couple beers on the weekend. I know what you mean. But what,
You could start it now. We could start it, you could do 20% now, make it consistent with FOP, and then FY16, change it to 25%, which hopefully, I don't know what's going to happen with AFSCME, we got to leave that aside, but then that would at least make the non-union people consistent with FOP. The only person you have is Barb.
Yeah, you start adding percentage of the insurance. You know, somebody making $2,000 a month versus somebody making $4,000 a month. That's a hell of a difference.
Right. That's right.
can we individually volunteer for, I mean, I'll do 20% now if I'm not, if my individual coverage is 20%, I'll go 20% now.
Oh, my God.
Sounds like
I don't want to say no, but oh, my gosh.
I mean, if you're looking
It's
for
really hard.
elected officials, that would be my vote.
You're bound to screw it up sometime when you have to settle later.
I said, I personally, me, since I only have the individual coverage, I mean, I would go to 20. If I'm not paying 20% now, I would pay
Right.
20%.
Right. I mean, my concern, Sheriff, would be that this is a work class, and when you look at like disparate treatment claims, you typically, if somebody within a work class is paying a different rate, that could be an issue. I don't think if you volunteered it would be, but it would be a challenge.
Be a can of worms.
Yeah. Right. Employees plus children would go down $27.38 a month.
So it would be to their advantage to do it. Don't make sense, does it?
Well, the 13 people out of the 20 you say that it's going to go down are obviously going to be in favor of it.
No, there's 7 it'll go down. 13 it will go up. 13 of the 20. Right. Right.
Why don't we have these folks get together and come back later and tell us what they want to do?
What do you guys?
Well, you're going to have to get up to 25% at some point anyway.
Right.
So whether
Right.
you say you're going at 20% now, or you're going to go at 25% on December 1, you're going to have to, we're going to have to bite the bullet, whether it's 20% now, 25%.
Yeah,
Do it at 20% now with no retro.
Right.
20 now? All right, do the 20 now?
I make more than 20 now.
20 now, no retro.
No retro.
Okay.
Second.
Brett?
Understanding, and 50% for the other coverages would be consistent.
Okay.
I will. Or Charlie.
No, Bill.
Hall.
No, B-I-L.
Schmidt?
Yeah.
Alt?
Yes.
Bill? Curtis? Hanson?
Okay. Well,
Anita, will you send something out to those people?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll put a note in their check. Wait, our check, what is today? I don't know if I have time before. Yeah, I'll do it. I think I can get something before they go today, and I'll just put a note, a little memo.
Mr. Devine's not here, but discussion of Blanc loan, anybody heard anything?
Nothing.
Nothing happened, it's time to do something.
Well, you gotta get Jimmy here to do it.
No, keep ahead of Yeah. Says he can't afford it.
Me neither. Okay. Nobody knows anything? You haven't heard nothing?
Nothing.
All right. This is unbelievable.
How much money it takes to put bills on a loan?
Evidently about 5 years.
No, I mean, I'll tell you now, I'm thinking it's like $500 or $1,000.
Oh, that depends on
When Jim said he didn't have the money to do it.
Well, you just can't leave this thing hanging out.
Well, I realize you can't do it.
Oh, all right, we'll have to try to get a hold of Jim. Okay, anybody got any questions on the claim?
I move we pay the claim.
I second it.
Ernie, seconded.
Schmidt?
Yeah.
Alt?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Curtis?
Yeah.
Hanson?
Yeah. Old business. 15 audit quote?
Yes. You had asked me last month, we talked about whether or not we would send the audit out for bid. And in order to make that determination, you asked me to get a quote from Clifton Larson Allen, who's our current auditor, for next year, and to kind of take that as a guide as to whether or not we would go out to bid or not. And I just got this yesterday from Hope. What she said for
Well, that worked.
Yes. For fiscal 15, they would reduce the cost from 46.2 to 42.2, so a reduction of $4,000. And then in fiscal 16, if a single audit is not required, there's new regulations related grants. Right now, we have to do what's called a single audit. It's additional testing on grants because the grants that we received, including it's all the grants, really it's public health that drives it. There's a threshold of $500,000, and audit requirements say that the federal government requires, if you have over $500,000 in federal grant, you have to have what's called a single audit. So they go in and test those grants. It's a lot of extra work. The threshold for fiscal years starting after, I think it's December 31st of 2014. Now, our fiscal year started December 1st. So anyway, it'll start for our FY16 audit. That threshold raises to $750,000 for a single audit. We're at about $650,000. Do I think we're going to get an extra $100,000 in grant dollars year over year? Not likely. So I told her to quote it without having to do a single audit. So what she said, if we don't have to do a single audit, it'll go down from 42.2 this year to 38.2 for fiscal 16.
Other than the health department, how about the highway? Was there,
No, that's
I know,
IDOT. Those are federal. Those don't count.
well, federal grant we had, I know it's just a stop sign on the Clifton Road up there cost $60,000 for it's done. In the federal grant.
Well, and that's why she says if no single audit is required. So if we get a grant that adds to our total, as I said, this year it was $651,000. So we'd have to go up by an extra $100,000 in order to hit the threshold for fiscal 16.
Highway is pretty much regulated by,
Yeah, well, most of it's fuel tax, but we have used some other, this grant money or special things, the Federal Highway Safety Improvement Programs, and they'll probably all disappear.
What's your thought on it? Is that a good price? What's your thought on it?
I think that stop sign was the last one I remember, I thought was actually
Is that a good price, or?
a grant.
Well, I think anytime your audit fees go down, that's not an easy thing to get anybody to do. But if we send it out for bids, for sealed bids, would we end up with something lower? I don't know, lower than the 42.2. I don't know. The issue is you have a new auditor that's not going to know what kind of a control situation they're walking into, and they're going to need...
And we won't know his reputation either.
No, we won't. Other than, you would interview for that, just like you interview for everything. You would interview and find out what other government entities they audit. I would look at the other entities they audit, and I would read those audits and see, and you can tell, I mean, I can look at the audits here from prior years, and I can have an opinion about that auditor.
Does it have to go out for bid?
No?
well, it's good to keep the prices down. I mean, just asking you substantial savings. But, you know, it's, the last time we put it out, it was,
Yeah, the bids were all much higher than that last time
I
we asked
think
for
this is a
bids.
pretty good bid myself.
Yeah, this is,
You have somebody new to come in, it's like starting all over again.
Yeah.
I can't imagine they're gonna get that low.
Because they're familiar with it anyhow, right?
They are familiar with it.
yeah.
And you know, they know what that's part of what she says, is that they know the lesser hours they've had to spend the last 2 years. So all of a sudden, instead of having to book a certain number of hours, a lot of that work's already done for them, so they know what they're getting. They feel very comfortable with this number. Somebody else won't be so comfortable because they haven't seen our record.
So put a hedge clause in it of some kind, possibly. I feel we ought to go on another year or 2 years or whatever.
They got 2-year opportunity
Yeah.
shown here.
Stick with them.
Yeah, I would take at least one more year, and possibly 2 if everybody agreed.
Is that a contract?
This is just an email, but we could do one or two. We could either give her a 1 year, give them a 1 year,
Contract.
give them a 2-year commitment, yes, ask for a 2-year engagement letter, okay? Or decide to send it out for bids. Those are your 3
Public,
options.
yeah.
Right.
What do you think, Chairman?
They're a lot cheaper than what our last bidding was.
I mean, how can you expect them to be lower in bidding again several years later?
I don't know what the flavor of the business is either. There's going to be a lot of people hungry now. You know.
Yeah, but knowing somebody's worth a little bit more.
Well, but you remember when we changed to these guys? We weren't impressed with the other guys. That's what the critics are going to get us with. You know, they're going to say, well, that's why we changed the last time. We had the other one for 8 or 10 years. But these guys still are good.
Isn't the
It's a
total
different
reason-
program now because we've got,
It isn't the total reason they change it. The change is to get a different face looking from a different direction.
yeah.
And I think that has proved it beneficial to us. Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
So
I'm just pointing out that,
I'd understand.
you know,
There comes a
personally, I have
time,
no problem with 2-year extensions. These guys are good.
there'll come a time when we should go someplace else if the rates are near the same. No doubt about that, but
You want a decision on that?
Yes, I would like one.
Yeah.
do something today.
Yeah.
Please.
I'll make a 2-year motion.
Do we have a second?
Pursue the letter of engagement.
A 2-year letter of
Did we
engagement.
wait a second?
Yeah,
Charlie did.
Schmidt, All,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Curtis, Hanson.
Yeah. Okay. Any more old business? All right, we're up to new business. Any new business? We were presented with a plan from 911. I would like to just table this for right now and let our representatives work on it because we're in the middle of negotiations. Personally, I'm not impressed with the other plan. I think that needs work, but I will convey my opinion to the representatives we have on the board, and they can take it back. We shouldn't do anything with this while we're in the middle of negotiations. We have to negotiate with actual numbers and not maybes.
Right.
So, anybody else got anything to say? So we'll let,
I don't see where this is a plan anyway, is it?
well, that's plan, that was planned, the fees, that was like a plan B or, yeah. But doing this in the middle of negotiations is not a good idea.
That was at PMP. This committee's at a disservice because they didn't see that.
Yeah, they didn't see
Just
it.
Kevin
I
saw
don't see
the
a plan.
Yeah,
previous.
How can we deal with something
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't see?
Yeah, well, we shouldn't be dealing with it anyway until after negotiations.
That might be another 2 years.
God, I hope not.
Maybe it should be 2
You
years.
know, of all the jobs I've had to do here, negotiations is for the worst.
I make a,
Anybody want to make a motion to adjourn? I think that's it. isn't it?
to go home?
Ernie, let's put it in that way, Ernie.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ernie, take home.